So what is Buddhism? Buddhism is the teaching of the Lord Buddha. What is the most important thing in the teaching of the Lord Buddha? It is the Four Noble Truths. The first Noble Truth of dukkha, or dissatisfaction. It can be anything from dissatisfaction, dis-ease, restlessness, boredom, suffering, pain. That is all comprised in this one word, dukkha. Every being in every realm of existence has dukkha. The second noble truth is the origin of dukkha. What is the origin of dukkha? It's our desire. It's a desire to be, it's a desire not to be, it's a desire to become or desire not to become. I want to be like this, I don't want to be like that. I want to meet this person, I don't want to meet that person. That's a desire that creates dukkha. Meeting with the things we don't like to meet, it's dukkha. Not getting what one wants to get, dukkha. You understand that? Becoming, desire, wanting, or not wanting, it's also desire. The third noble truth, there's an end of dukkha. And the fourth noble truth is that's why we gathered here and want to practice it. It's a practice of sila, samadhi, panya. But before we can practice sila, samadhi, and panya, we need three virtues. The virtue of generosity, being able to give things away, material things or mental things, ideas, thoughts, and so on. Generosity. Respect, being able to respect the teacher, being able to respect our parents, being able to respect spiritual teachers, and especially being able to respect the Lord Buddha, the Dhamma, the teaching, and the Sangha, the community of holy people. So generosity, respect, and gratitude. Being grateful for what was given to us. Being grateful for our parents that they raised us. That they looked after us for 15 or 20 years. They paid, they had lots of sleepless nights, while raising us, while we were crying, needed to go to the doctor, or needed to go to the school, They provided us with everything. So if we are not grateful, then we are just like a tree who sucks up all the water and doesn't give any leaves and doesn't give any fruits. So these three virtues are important for us to progress on the way of Sila, Samadhi and Panya. What is Sila? Sila is morality or virtue. The virtue of not harming any living being is the first Sila. The virtue of not taking what is not given is the second. The third one, no sexual misconduct. Being faithful in one's marriage, not having wrong sex, that means, anybody who is dependent on us, that is called wrong sex or sexual misconduct. The fourth one is no lies, no deceptive speech, and no harmful speech. And the fifth one, no alcohol, no drugs, everything that makes us unmindful or unaware. These are the 5 precepts. If you keep these 5 precepts, we are allowed to come back as a human being. If we don't keep these 5 precepts, we will go most probably to hell, or the ghost realm, or the animal realm, or the demon realm. Just like in our countries, if we don't abide with the law, we will go to prison for a certain amount of time. It depends on our crime that we committed. Sometimes we are long, sometimes we are short. And that's the same thing with the other realms, with the normally called lower realms. If you don't keep the 5 precepts, we go to the lower realms. Most of us, most of the beings here, and most of the human beings have no choice than to go to hell. So that is the group of Sila. Then there is another group. That is the group of Samadhi, being able to focus on one point. Being able, not only being able to focus on one point, Samadhi is nothing else than concentration. And Sati is that what we want to develop together with concentration, that is the awareness. The awareness of what is going on. For the training of Samadhi and Sati, we use Anapanasati, being aware of the breath going in, being aware of the breath going out, or the mental repetition of the word Buddha. We focus, once the mind goes out, we come back. It goes out again, we come back. And we are very patient, just bringing the moment we notice it, no matter how long it took until we notice it. We bring the mind back to the Buddha, or we bring the mind back to the breath. That's a training of Sati. That's a training of Samadhi. And Sati is the knowingness of how the breath is at this very moment. Is it the in-breath? Is it strong? Is it weak? Is it restless? Or whatever quality of the breath. And the Buddha, the same thing. Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it deep? Is it shallow? That is the development of Sati. And Sati is very important. Sati and Panya are our weapons to defeat the kilesas. And Panya is the development of wisdom. Wisdom we cannot gather by reading, we cannot gather by inferring. Wisdom is something that we have to get from inside. Seeing inside the nature of ourselves. That's how wisdom is developed. That's why we investigate. And we investigate the 5 groups that we think it is us, It is the body, it is feeling, it is memory, association, it's thought and consciousness. These are 5 groups, that make us. And that's what we are going to investigate. So, these are the 4 noble truths. Then, what is important in Buddhism is also the 3 universal characteristics, anicca, anatta, dukkha. Anicca, impermanence. Everything that arises ceases. The body arises and ceases. Thoughts arise and cease. Feelings arise and cease. Consciousness arises and ceases. So this is impermanent. Whatever has arisen must cease. Anatta. Whatever has arisen and ceases cannot be us. Whatever I can observe And I can observe the body, I can observe feelings, I can observe memories, I can observe thoughts, and I even can observe consciousness cannot be us. The Lord Buddha said, this is not me, it's not mine, doesn't belong to me. Whatever I can observe cannot be me, cannot be mine, doesn't belong to me. The subject that observes the object cannot be the object. So if we observe a feeling and say there is a feeling, we cannot be this feeling. That is a very important tool in our investigation, or sometimes in our daily life. Something terrible happens, then we just put it away and say there is, and then we look at it, then we observe it and we investigate. What is it? For instance, fear, or for instance, pain. What is pain? What is fear? What is loneliness? You can also, investigate desire or hate, or greed. And the last thing is dukkha, but I explained it already in the first Noble Truth. These are the three universal characteristics, that means they are holding for everything that exists in this universe. So the path to the end of dukkha, what keeps us in this, what keeps us in the world of birth and death? It is greed, hatred, and delusion. These are the three main armies of avijja. Avijja is the mastermind behind all this, what we see, what we feel, what we hear. He is the mastermind behind all this, and he has three armies. He has the army of greed, hatred, and then he has the army that is behind, that is delusion, that pulls up greed and that pulls up hate. So when we think about this, or when we picture it in our mind, what we see now as normal practitioner or lay people is mostly greed and hate. We can't see delusion because it is pulling the strings. Just like, when we look at the world and politics, we don't see actually the people who pull the strings. We only see, the actions taken by this person or that person, but we don't know who is pulling their strings. And that's the same for us. When we start going the way of practice, then normally we don't see delusion. We don't think we are deluded. Maybe we say we are deluded, but we don't see it. Not purely. What we see is always forms of greed and hate. What is greed? And some people say, I'm not greedy. But what is greed? It's dislike. We don't like something. Actually, that's hate. We dislike something, that is a form of hate. If we dislike it very much, then we have to get rid of it. And for some people it can mean, killing another person or or getting rid of something that causes his hate. So dislike, any form of dislike. Just a little bit of aversion towards something is a form of hate. And greed is the same thing. Greed is wanting something. Not being able to let go. Likes, Just say, okay, I would like that, It's a form of greed already. So if you say we are not greedy or we are not hateful, then it's not true. We don't understand, We think, greedy must be, it's the extreme form of like. Or hate must be the extreme form of dislike. It's not. So whatever we like, whatever we want, whatever we desire for, it's a form of greed. And greed can just like hate turn into something, we have to have it, no matter what it costs, even if we have to steal it. Or people, or think about people, who can't let go, of playing, playing poker, or money games. Or people who are addicted, to playing video games, who can't let go of that. That's an extreme form of greed. So greed and hate are the ones who bothers us the most, yeah. And when we look at one day, or when we look even at 1 hour, and we feel all sorts of greed and hate coming up. Even if we do meditation, yeah, we dislike the pain, yeah. We dislike the boredom, we dislike the restlessness. Yeah? We want something to drink, yeah, or we want this, or we want that. Yeah? It constantly comes up, and it's constantly surrounding us. And delusion is the thing, that we don't really understand. And the mastermind behind it is avijja. It's called fundamental ignorance, or wanting to know but not being able to know, wanting to understand but not being able to understand in line with the truth. That's avijja, or fundamental ignorance. We are completely ignorant about this universe that we live in. On the path of practice, we are bound to the birth, we are bound to the cycle of birth and death. There is no end to it. When we die, we will be born again. When we are born again, then we will die again. And so on, endless. It's called samsara vata, or the cycle of birth and death. And there is no escape except for the practicing the fourth noble truth. But that means we have to understand the fourth noble truth. We have to understand, or we have to be willing to practice sila, samadhi, and panya. Otherwise, we will not get out. You can picture it, when you don't understand, the cycle of birth and death. Picture a hamster wheel, yeah? A hamster in a hamster wheel. There's a door, yeah? Normally it is closed. Yeah? But the Lord Buddha, and the hamster is running around in the hamster wheel. And he's running fast, sometimes he's running slow, and each time, and all the time he thinks he's going somewhere, just like us. All the time we think we are going somewhere. We accomplish something, or we do this, yeah? Or we get this, or we get that. But when you look from the side, that's what the Lord Buddha said, we are not going anywhere. We are constantly turning around in this wheel, in this hamster wheel. And then the Lord Buddha saw this door and opened it up for us, yeah? By explaining the Four Noble Truths and telling us the Fourth Noble Truth, or the path that leads to the end of dukkha. That is the door that we should open. In order to get out or in order to get to the end of dukkha, we have 10 fetters. 10 fetters that bind us to this hamster wheel, or to bind us to this cycle of birth and death. What is the first fetter? It's a fetter of doubt. Doubt that there is heaven, doubt that there is hell. Doubt that there are beings in heaven, doubt that there are beings in hell. This is the biggest fetter for most of the people, yeah? Most of the human beings. Yeah? They don't believe in heaven, they don't believe in hell. They think heaven is on earth and hell is on earth. Yeah? They don't believe that there are beings in heaven, and they don't believe that there are beings in hell. And they certainly do not believe in Kamma. Yeah? That also belongs to the first fetter. Yeah? Cause and effect. Yeah? Cause and effect is like a boomerang that we throw, and it will come back exactly to us. Yeah? Every word that we utter, every deed that we do, yeah? Every thought that we have, it will come back to us. Yeah? It has to come back to us, because that is the law. Yeah? You can think about it just like the law of physics. everything will come back to us. With the intention we do it, with that intention it comes back to us. So if we hate somebody, we will be hated. If we love somebody, we will be loved. Yeah? Easy said, yeah? Difficult to do. If we like to be respected, we have to pay respect. We have to respect others. Whatever we want, we have to give first. If we want to become rich, we have to be generous. If we want to be beautiful or handsome, we have to serve others without thinking about ourselves. These are some of the descriptions that the Lord Buddha gave about Kamma. And it doesn't happen instantly. Yeah? It happens over lifetime. Some of the Kamma comes back in the next life. Some of the Kamma, few of it, will need a long time to ripen. Yeah? But then it comes back every life. Yeah? It might take 5, 6 or 7 lives in order to come back, but then it comes back for a while, just like an apple tree. It takes 7 years, from the seed of an apple to grow, to harvest the first fruit of an apple. But then for 10, 20 years, we will harvest the apples until the tree dies. And that is some of the Kamma that we can acquire. So whatever we want, we have to give first. Remember that. Kamma. Whatever we do will come back to us. Be it good, then it will come back as good. Be it bad, it will come back as bad. So not believing in Kamma, not believing in heaven and hell, that is the first fetter. And when you look at the human race, this first fetter, will lead most of the people down to hell. The second fetter is the fetter of not keeping the 5 precepts. Today I keep the precepts, tomorrow I don't keep them. Then I keep them again, then I don't keep them. So this fetter, it's called a fetter of not keeping the precepts. Oh, today just one chance, let's go against the precepts. And then the next day we feel remorse, and then we take it on again, and then we break it again, and then we take it on again, and then we break it again. That is the second fetter. The third fetter is the belief that we are this body. It is like we are born in the car, we die in the car, and we believe we are the car. The third fetter is rather important, and it's very difficult to get rid of or to cut down. Everything in our life runs around this body. The moment we are born, we need to feed the body, we need to house the body, we need to clothe the body, we need to give it medicine. And because of that, because of this necessity, we have hardly any other concern. We don't even know that there is something else, that there is something sitting inside this body and driving this body. Just like the driver in the car, when the driver in the car makes a nap, the car doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go left, it doesn't go right. So when the chitta that drives this body takes a nap, for instance, it can do it in samadhi or it can do it in deep samadhi, then the car or the body doesn't move. And everybody can, test it out for himself. And he sees. The moment the chitta is completely quiet, the body is quiet. The moment the chitta gets agitated, the body gets agitated. Just like the driver gets agitated, he drives very wild through the area. And this is something that we have to understand. We have to get out of the car and to look at the car. So we have to get out of the body and look at the body and see it's not us. But because we are constantly concerned about the body, constantly concerned about the health of the body, constantly concerned about not having enough food or not having this enough or not having that enough. Yeah? When you look at the human race, what are they concerned about? Yeah? Having a bigger house, having more to eat, having more clothes, and so on. And look at all these hospitals and all these doctors running around, yeah, trying to keep us healthy. And then we do all these sort of sports, and everything is our whole life is turning around this body. So how can we not believe it's a body? And that's why we get afraid, when death comes close, yeah. I mean, am I going to die when the body dies? We know that the body is dead because we have seen dead people, yeah. Friends of us have died, or our parents have died, so we have seen dead people. Yeah? So are we going to die? Yeah? So if our whole life turns around this body, then of course we are afraid of death. Because we are afraid that we die as well. But we don't die. Yeah? We just get reborn. If we understand Buddhism, we just go from one level of existence to another level of existence, or from one realm to existence to another realm of existence. That's what we do. Yeah? So understanding this third fetter, is important. Yeah, and how can we do it? We can do it with investigation of the body. Yeah? Investigating the body inside out. Yeah? Not yet. We don't need yet for this, to look at a super. We just need to see, that this body, the moment, we're in samadhi, this body doesn't move. Yeah? And if there is an intention in our chitta or in our heart, yeah, then the body starts to act up. Just need to look at the physical heart, and we need to look at our lungs, and in the moment we think we want to do something, they act up. Yeah? They got, it's just like, turning on the engine of your car. If you don't want anything, just like when you're in samadhi, the engine, shuts down. And then you want something, then the engine, the heart, the physical heart, and the lungs start to pump, yeah? And then physical actions occur. And to understand that, yeah, okay, take the body out, yeah, chop it up, and put it in front of you, and then ask, what part of the body is the body, yeah? Is it the fingers the body? Is it the hand the body? Is it the arms the body? Huh? Is it the lower torso or the upper torso the body? Is it the brain the body? Yeah? Is it the skull the body? Is it the bones the body? What is the body? It's an assembly of all these different parts, yeah? Of all these different body parts. Yeah? It's just like, disassemble your car, and all what you see is, pieces of plastic, pieces of metal, and nuts and bolts, yeah? That's it. There's no car. And this is something we have to understand. And we have to understand, that when we disassemble this body, that there is actually something that knows that there is a body disassembled. And then it assembles the body again, and then what happens? We do that often enough until, something clicks, until we see with our inner eyes, or we get the insight that the body is not me. Yeah? That there is a me, yeah? An entity, that inhabits this body. Yeah? And then we realize that this body is nothing else than a biological robot. Yeah? Or in comparison to the world, nothing else than a car, yeah? That we drive. It's a nice tool. Yeah? But our assumption, our view of it is that it is us. Yeah? And that's why we care so much about it. We care about its appearance. The appearance is not important, when we want to drive from A to B. Yeah? But we mostly care about the appearance. Yeah? Anyway, these first three fetters, are important fetters. The moment we can cut them down, yeah, the first fetter of doubt, the second fetter, yeah, of not keeping the precepts or keeping the precepts and not keeping, yeah, constantly, constantly, just like scratching on a wound, yeah, so that it can't heal. Yeah? When we have a wound somewhere in the body, it starts to heal, then we scratch it up, and then it starts to heal again, and then it itches, we scratch it again, yeah. That's the second fetter. Yeah? There's a way, how we can deal with the second fetter from now on. No matter what, we keep the 5 precepts. That's it. But the third fetter is a little bit more difficult. Why are the first 3 fetters so important? The first 3 fetters are important because it opens the door of the hamster wheel, and we can get out. So, in Buddhist terms, we enter the stream, and the stream will lead us to Nibbana. And it means for us, from that moment that we entered the stream or that we went out of the gate, yeah, of the hamster wheel, that we are not going back. Yeah? We are going slowly or steadily towards Nibbana. So we made our way out. And that's why the first 3 fetters are so important. So understand them, train it. Yeah? If you want to get out. If you don't, if you like, yeah. If you like being in this hamster wheel, being born and die and born again and die and born again, yeah. Sometimes in hell, sometimes in heaven, yeah. Sometimes in the ghost realm, yeah. If you like that, okay, that's fine. It's your life, it's your responsibility. Whatever happens to you is your own responsibility. You are the one who caused your situation that you're in. This is something that you have to realize. But if you want to get out, yeah, the 4th noble truth, the truth that leads to the end of dukkha, yeah, and leads to stream entry, and then later on to once returner, then to non-returner, and finally to Nibbana or to the Arahant. Yeah? That's a path of practice that the Lord Buddha prescribed to us. So, and with this I end the talk. Yeah?